Hi, lovelies. I'm going to talk to you today about a book I read. It is Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin, and I really loved this book. It was really fascinating. Some of the things um, that happen with the main character. So, Enid, she cannot tell her mom that she loves her. So instead, because she works for NASA and she's in the research department, every time she's thinking of her mom, she'll text her mom an interesting fact about space. And some of the facts were so fun for me to learn and like learn for the first time. And some of them were really awesome. And I can't tell you a specific one. I think I put it in my review. So this is facts about Emily Austin. I actually want to read. She has 5 books available. Everyone in this room will someday be dead is interesting title. So, since I loved interesting facts about space, I think that I would enjoy some of her other books. The one thing to know is that Enid is a lesbian and she goes through a lot of issues from childhood trauma. And so, if you have childhood trauma, then you may not enjoy this book. But what I found fascinating was that once Enid went to therapy and she learned how her childhood trauma affected her and she started to heal from that, she was able to have a healthy relationship because it just talked about how Enid was not able to have a good relationship and she kept bouncing from partner to partner just because she could not commit and she didn't know why. And it was due to her childhood trauma. So I just found Enid the most fascinating person, and her backstory was so sad and such a mix up. And it was great that she was able to heal. But I loved the fact that she needed to learn that therapy was helpful for her and that it did so much for the improvement of her life. And I just, so let me read you my review. What I liked about this book is the interesting inner thoughts of the main character, who is deaf in one ear. She finds out she's on the autism spectrum and she finds out that she is not, in fact, a murderer. The whole book, she is forced to learn about herself and accept who she really is. Everyone was being polite and keeping secrets, and that was making everything worse. I understood why her best friend did what he did, but it aggravated me that she lost her apartment. The things she did, like falling out of her window instead of face her bald neighbor, were heartbreaking and hilarious at the same time. I was reading this on a dark, quiet plane, and I had several moments where I suddenly laughed loudly out loud. I also hear from friends that the lesbian romance world does move much quicker than the main character's romance life is typical for someone who doesn't want a commitment. There are no romance scenes. I am glad she ended up with Polly in the end, though. They are good for each other. I'm also glad she finally let Vin in. He truly is her brother. The best part of this book is that she works with space and knows many facts that she shares with her mother throughout the book. My favorites are that the sunset on Mars is blue and it rains diamonds on Jupiter and Saturn. It was an entertaining read. Yes, some of the things that Enid did in this book were hilarious. Like, in retrospect, when you finish reading the book, you can see why she would climb in and out of her window instead of dealing with her bald neighbor. But I mean, at the time, it was hilarious, and I would just burst out laughing. Like, what the heck? Why is she going in and out of her window and falling out because she can't get up there? And just some of the things, just some of her reasoning was interesting. So, if you want a fun, fast read, but something that makes you really stop and pause about why people do what they do, I really recommend this book. I hope you enjoy. Have a great day, lovelies.